Hi guys, welcome to I.N.T.E.N.T. I'm your host Ronlyn, and today we're going to be speaking to Lungile Mbokane, who's an artist. We're going to be speaking about fatherhood, which is one of my favorite seasons. Hi Lungile.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm also good. I'm also good. You're waking me up on
Well,
the holiday.
we can speak about parenthood on any day, a holiday, a working day. It's one of those topics that are it's very easy to talk about because it's our daily lives. Welcome to the platform. We're gonna get into it, but just to break the ice as an icebreaker, describe fatherhood in one word.
In one word, yeah, I'll say it's wholesome. One word, I'd say it's wholesome. Wholesome. Yeah,
Mm.
one word. How I'd put it for you. Yeah,
Wholesome.
yeah.
What makes your fatherhood experience wholesome?
I think everything that comes with it, like every day it's almost like a different thing. You can't really pin in terms of like how it goes. It's almost like you are constantly learning from it. It's like a new journey. Almost like you're reading a new book every day. You don't know what's gonna happen as much as you are prepared for it. It's just like it comes with different aspects of it, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. So that's why it's sort of like makes it special.
And you are creative, you are an artist. How has fatherhood impacted your career? Because you do say it's very wholesome. So, how has it
Yeah.
impacted your career?
Well, nothing much has changed. I think more than anything, it just sort of like grows your creative method. I mean, you learn things from your children, you learn things from them, you pick up things from them. So it's no different from any other form of like inspiration in terms of like creativity because it's just like a matter of like outlook on things. It's just that maybe it
Mm.
shifts your perspective from looking at things from the way you used to sort of like looking them from things of like being more responsible and more connected to what's happening and just like be more aware of like your environment as well.
So, is that you say it hasn't changed much? You have one son. Just for the viewers and the listeners, you have one son.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Well, in terms of bit of background, how would I even put it? I think more of me, it's more like a set routine, I sort of like try to install the same values that I got, when I was younger, and obviously here and there you can always improve them in certain parts. Then in terms of background, I treat my fatherhood journeys like we're friends as much as I'm a father. So we do have an element
Mm.
of like, so that when he sees me as his father, but he also sees me as his friend, if it makes sense.
Mm. Mm.
That's how I sort of like
And
try
has
to
there
sort of
been
keep it with
any?
friends, but then
Mm.
so try sort of keep it like a friendship. Then it's just like, yeah, a friendship that has rules, and then I'm the adult and you the child, but we're still friends, yeah.
Is there anything that you didn't expect that you experienced so far?
Things that I have not experienced yet in my fatherhood journey, that's what you're saying.
No, something that you didn't expect. Mm.
In terms of like how sensitive people are, I didn't expect that in my fatherhood journey. In terms of whether it's a good thing or whether it's a bad thing, you might do things
You didn't expect?
thinking it doesn't impact them, like how sensitive they are. Sensitive
Oh, okay.
in terms of like feelings and all that, whether they're good or bad. I think sometimes as
Mm.
parents, you do things and then you're not aware how things can make them happy or how deeply they can hurt them. So
Mm.
especially now when they can speak and all that, and then you only realize when they speak about those deals that it's something that you thought was little, it's actually a big thing to them. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's also because, we don't expect so much emotion and so much also logic from such a little person. So when we do see that side of them, it's like, oh wow,
She's connecting.
But I'm so glad that you actually embrace it. because you're also teaching him emotional intelligence, that, you hear him, you see him, that how he feels matters, and that you take that serious.
Yeah,
Because,
that is
we're
true.
shaping them, we're molding them.
Yeah,
So it's very important for us to acknowledge how they feel and also act upon that. It's very
yeah, that
different
is
to how
true.
we grew up.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. It is.
Mm,
It is.
it is. Because I know most people in our generation, it was a case of do as you're told.
Yeah, there's
However
no
you
second
feel,
really
you
really
suck it up.
matter.
So in terms of the way we parenting, it's termed gentle parenting, but it's not so gentle in the way people may think it is, where you just let the child be. It's a
Whatever
case
they
of
want to
acknowledging where they are, how they feel, and taking it from there so that you can mold them into the best person that they meant to be.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Mm. So on that topic, what is your favorite memory of your son?
I think there's a lot. I wouldn't say I have one specific. I think for the fact that the sense of humor that he carries, even
Mm,
at such a young age. So I
mm,
think I'd say the sense of humor overall, I wouldn't tie that to one specific memory, but just in the middle of a moment, we'd find ourselves laughing, about whatever situation that we find ourselves in. So
mm.
it's sort of like it's good, like our memory to sort of have like ever since from a young age that okay, that sense of humor side, that childlike that says, okay, it sort of like makes them show that, they're a happy child and all that.
Yes, yes. And where does he get his sense of humor from? Because I know with my son, it's a mixture, but with you, who, in terms of his sense of humor, who is he more like?
I think I think it's the mixture because often the sense of humor also comes with like energy. It doesn't always have to be something that they say, but also what they do. Sometimes I'll see a bit of myself from maybe the action and then maybe from the mouth in terms of like maybe talking. So it's just a bit of both, combined into one person. Yeah.
Mm, mm. It's always great when, they get you and you get them in terms of humor. Because I always say my
Yeah,
son
yeah,
always laughs at my jokes. Like, he gets my jokes unlike most people. So it's
yeah,
always
yeah, that is true.
refreshing. It's like, okay, you know,
You can be,
we
yeah,
see
we're the
each
same
other.
thing. Yeah, we're the same thing. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So you're saying that your favorite memory of your son is, or one of them is sense of humor.
Yeah,
What are
yeah, yeah.
others?
I'd say the energy, also the energy that he carries in terms of like the edge to sort of like play to things. I think
Mm,
I'm also like sort of like reminds me of myself in terms of like always wanting to do stuff. Like he could just be by himself and just do things. He doesn't need people to play. He just needs to be in a space and be comfortable and be himself. I also like that. That means he's not so reliant on terms of having so many people around him. He can
mm,
just be himself as long as he's in a comfortable space. Then he'll always find some ways to sort of like entertain himself.
He's self-reliant.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I
Mm,
like that. Yeah,
mm. And that's very important, especially in today's world. Raising a child that's self-reliant, independent, but also has the ability to be social, when
yeah.
they need to or
When
when
they
they
have to,
want to.
yeah, when they have to.
Because if a child isn't self-reliant and is always relying on not only adults but like other kids for entertainment, that can be a gateway to being
Yeah,
manipulated and easily badly influenced.
yeah. That is true.
So
That's true. Especially at a little stage, it becomes like peer pressure and all that. Sort of like easily influenced.
mm, mm, mm. So in my opinion, it's very important to teach a child that your alone time is your alone time. It's a time for you to recharge, a time for you to also find out what you like,
Yeah,
without other
yeah,
people influencing that, and also the ability to exist around other kids, knowing that you are an individual and you can also exist amongst other people and not
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
easily influenced. Yeah, that's very, very important. And it's also very challenging because as human beings, we want to be liked, So it's very important to start now in building that, strong character, a strong
Yeah,
sense
yeah,
of
yeah.
belonging and identity and knowing who they are.
That is true. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you.
I, I can't hear you.
No, I'm saying I agree with you. Like it makes sense. I hear you where you're coming from. I understand. I'm also like we're on the same page in terms of like how it sort of shapes you, especially from now to a later stage. You might think it's a small thing, but what you do now also like affects their future self.
Mm, 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 mm. Speaking about, what we do now is going to affect our kids in the future. What is something that your parents instilled in you in a young age that has impacted your life so greatly now that you are parents?
I think the ability to sort of work hard, like when you want something, sort of like
Mm,
work hard, especially doing that, something that I see. And even though it also passed on to me, it's sort of like, okay, you sort of realize that, okay, even hard work can also like, upbeat talent, if it makes sense, like hard work beats talent all day, all day, all day. As long as you're
mm,
consistent in whatever it is that you do and you're working hard towards it, like you can outshine, talented people, and it's even better when you say you are talented and then you also hard work.
mm, mm. Because the two go hand in hand, also working smart. Because you can have the talent and then you're not consistent, and then you wonder why it's not paying off. And we all have periods in our lives where we're not consistent. I know I do,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, we all do,
um
but
Sorry.
it's a journey for the first, right? I'm saying like it's a journey. We all do, Also, consistency is the hardest thing to sort of do, you know. It also forms part of hard work. That's why if you're not like working hard, then you can't be consistent. As much as even if you can work smart, if you're not consistent, then it all doesn't amount to anything.
mm, mm, mm. Definitely. And especially in parenting, you have to be consistent because your kids will see the loopholes and they will run with
They
it.
manipulate, yeah, they manipulate them, yeah.
Yes. So consistency needs to be something that we apply in every area of our life. And in terms of your work, the work that you do, you are an artist. Um, how is that affected terms of, what your parents in.
So being an artist doesn't just like say, okay, I'm an artist, and then let's say you wake up and you do paintings all day, but you go to school, you study for it so that you can have a sense of backup, and that's also all part of working hard because you have a sense of understanding of what you do. There's a qualification for it. There's something to back up what I say I am, as opposed to
Mm,
just me saying it without like just without having anything. So yeah.
definitely. And has your art changed since you've become a parent, like over the years?
Well, it has changed. Well, it's bound to always change, even if, let's say, I was independent, for the fact that I'm constantly growing as a human being,
Mm.
it's bound to sort of change. So it's not solely limited to just being a parent. It just has to do with like a human nature, times changing, evolving, and all that in different environments. So it's constantly changing. It's still going to change.
So if you can give me like an example from now, let's give it, say, how old is your son?
5 years, turning 5 this year.
5. And I thought of the number 5. I think was my son is 5. Um, yeah, we can just say 5 years ago compared to now. What is your art looking like?
I think it's looking more mature, it's growing in terms of like, let's say maybe the tools that I even used, the approach, the meaning behind the work,
Mm,
the application also. So it almost changes in every part of it in terms of saying, okay, maybe you started from this place about looking at life at this point of view to say, okay, you're getting more in touch with your feelings, you saying more things to the world, and all of that. So I think it's going out there in terms of like you going more out of your shell, if it makes sense,
mm,
and your story even more and even bigger. Yeah.
mm. So there's more depth. There's
Yes,
more
there's more to it.
sensitivity coming through, more emotions.
More
You're tapping
understanding.
into that side of you, because I know it can be a bit challenging um, for males to tap into that part of them and also to display it.
That is true. To
Um,
sort of like put out in the world. That's the hardest thing we have to do. In terms of like, there's more understanding, but also, maybe showing all your vulnerabilities to the world. It's not the easiest thing, but that's what makes the
mm,
work work.
mm, mm. And how are you able to do that?
I think because you love something, you have passion for it, so you sort of like obviously go through with it, through the times, hard as it is, but you understand it's part of like the journey, it's part of who you are. You have other artists, so you understand the language and what it takes for you to sort of make it. It's not just about making the work; it's about making something authentic and something that you
Mm,
love and how it makes you feel.
mm.
Yeah.
And is there a specific type of art that you do?
Not really. I'm not limiting myself simply because, yeah, as a person, you're forever changing, you're forever
Mm,
evolving, and you stumble upon new things all the time. So I wouldn't say there's a specific one. I just like say I'm an artist, and then from then onwards, you'll find all the different categories that come within an artist, because
mm,
you learn so much as you go that whatever you thought you were doing is no longer just that. You've added more things along the way.
mm, mm. Okay. Okay. And what is something that you would like to impart onto your son that's
I think I'd like
non-material?
that's what matters. I think it's just to just go after whatever he wants. For the fact that I'm an artist,
Mm,
it's not an easy career to follow. But for the fact that that's what I wanted to do and it makes me happy and I feel fulfilled at it and it gets me through the most. I'd want him to also do something that he's passionate about.
mm,
From day one to the heart because this is most fields that we are passionate about, they come with their own challenges. So imagine you're doing something that you don't
exactly.
like and then also not passionate about it. So when it gives you a hard time, you're just going to quit.
Mm, mm. It's true. And it's less challenging when you're doing something that you're passionate about in terms of being consistent.
Yes. Yes. And you tend to love it more because it doesn't matter what happens, you love it. You will have setbacks, but you'll go back into it because that's what you want to do. That's what you love.
Mm, 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 mm. Definitely, definitely. And what is something that no one is perfect. So even in terms of parenting, we all have flaws. So what is something that you feel you would like to work on or you have worked on already?
I think it's to just maybe listen a bit more, with like, okay, trying to understand them a bit more because, again, like sometimes we do have those flaws of making them grow up the way we did whereby you do as you're told, without maybe entirely understanding maybe their part. So maybe a bit of understanding here and there. I'd try that to be maybe a bit lenient, not as strict, if it makes sense. Just to have a bit of like both
Mm,
in that department. Yeah.
mm, mm, mm. But also, give yourself grace because this is something new. Um, it's a new path. So as much as they are learning, we are also learning. So we need to just
Yeah,
give
that
each
is true.
other
That is true.
grace.
Everybody's a new tool. It's a new tool for everybody. Yeah.
Sorry?
I'm saying like it's a new journey from everybody. We've never been here. He's never been here. So as we grow, we try to understand each
Mm,
other better.
mm, mm. Yeah. And it can be challenging, with life. Life comes with a lot sometimes. And sometimes we forget that they're exploring, we're exploring. So it's just something that we need to constantly
That
remind
is true.
ourselves
That is
of.
true.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
agree. That is true. That is true. That's true.
Yes. Yes. Um, is there anything that you would like to, I don't want to say advice, but um something that you would like to say to new fathers out there? Maybe something that you learned along the journey, um, that you wish you were told, or yeah.
I think for me, it's more like being present. It's not. It's all about being present, being available. Most of the things that we think matter, they don't really matter so much. The money, maybe the school fees, and all of that, they don't matter if you're not part of the journey. You're not there to listen to them, to pick them up, or to stick to your promises. I think as a father, just being there, being present. So that if one thing you need to understand about kids is that they don't know our limits as parents. Even if you're not the strongest, when they see you because of that connection, they feel like they're at the safest hands ever. So
Mm,
just being there and giving them that sense of thing. If you go in there and there's like big people and whatsoever, he's most likely, when he comes there, he feels like my dad can beat all of these people, because of how you make them feel, how you make him feel. So
mm,
I think being present is the biggest thing, because it's sort of like comforts them. It brings them, the best. It brings the best out of them, because they also want to do things to sort of like impress you, to show you that they listen to you. So you also get to see your values that you've installed in them as they grow and all of that.
mm, Definitely, I definitely agree. So we should just be consistent and present and give each other grace.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. And the love, of course, as much as going to have ups and downs, but if everything is operating from a place of love, then it becomes better,
Mm.
and everybody sort of understands there's always a way out.
Yes, yes, yes. And don't be afraid to put your emotions out there, especially when it comes to your kids. I think because you are in the creative space, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it might be more, not easier, but less challenging for you
Yeah, that
to
is true. Yeah,
express.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
that is true.
Um, express your emotions, which is also assisting your son as a male, um, to also know that it's okay to express how I feel.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Yes, yes. So grace, consistency, um, all embodied in love, and learning how to express our emotions in a very healthy way. By doing
Yeah,
something that we are passionate about, whether it's our career path or something on the side. Um, I think with artists, I love the creative space. So in terms of art, I feel like it's such a beautiful way to express yourself, because
yeah, yeah,
you might, display your art and this is what you were feeling in that moment. But because of the state I'm in when I look at it, um,
you can something different.
yes, yes. It's just like with life, the way we view life. What I might be going through, if I express it to you, you might help me look at it in a different way. So that's how I
Yeah,
look at art. It's a
that
beautiful
is
way of displaying your emotions or whatever you're going through, whatever you want to display, and just seeing how people interpret it, according to whatever they're going through. Um, yeah,
true. I
yeah.
agree
Thank.
with you. I agree with you.
Yes,
And
yes.
also maybe the one last point I can also say with regards to parenting as well is it's that mental health knows no boundaries. Whether you're a man, you're a woman, you're a child. So that's also like a big part of it. It also comes with the challenges of being a parent. So also like maybe being aware in terms of that space as well, as much as we're a parent, that hey, we all go through it. We all go through it, regardless of where you are. Zero bank account, more on account, but yeah, also it's also related. Like mental health knows no boundaries. Whether you're a parent or so yeah.
It's very important to take care of your mental health, and I will always emphasize giving yourself grace. If you cannot be present in that moment, just to take care of your mental health, do so, because it has a impact on the next person as much as it does
That
on
is,
yourself.
yeah, yes, it does spill over. Yeah.
Yes. So we just need to give each other grace. Life can be extremely challenging. So give yourself grace. Sometimes you just need to put yourself first in order to put others first. So that's very, very important. Thank you so much, Lungile, for being on the platform and sharing your wisdom and inspiration on being consistent, doing something that you're passionate about, and above all, being present. And if you cannot be present because, mentally you're not okay in terms of whether it's mental health, emotionally, physically, just take care of you so you can take care of others better. Give yourself grace. Yes, no, we definitely do. Lungile, where can people find your art if they want to buy?
Mostly on Instagram, so you can just type in my name and surname, I'll appear, and yeah, that's where mostly I am. I encourage Instagram. It's sort of like my go-to in terms of like everything about me. Yeah.
Okay. I'll also, for those that follow the podcast on social media, I'll also tag Lungile's account, and I'll also have it in the description so that you can follow and that you can have a look, see what you like, and purchase and support a father who's a creative, expressing his creativity and emotions through art. Thank you so much for being on the platform. Thank you to my listeners and viewers. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Until next time, let's keep living with intent. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.